Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Shri Matre Namaha. Namaste everyone. In today's session, we will review the Nama Ashtami Chandra ViprajaTalikaSthala Shobita. We are in Sloka 5. Let's recite Sloka 5. Ashtami Chandra ViprajaTalikaSthala Shobita Mooka Chandra Kalankapa Mriganabi Viseshaka. So there are two lines in this. The entire first line of the shloka is one nama. It must be pronounced correctly and recited in full as one full nama. For example, this nama should be recited as Ashtami Chandra ViprajaTalikaSthala Shobita. It must be also recited without any pass because of the number of aksharams as well as the sound of the bijas hidden inside. In the last session, we reviewed that Ambal's Mukam, the divine face, is the Vagbhava Kutam. This Kutam, the Mukam, describes the parts in and around the face, like the head, the nose, the eyes, the mouth, the ears, the chin, etc. We are now doing the darshan of the head in the Vagbhava Kutam, and so far we have reviewed the divine hair and the divine crown in the that is on top of the mukam. In this session, we will focus the worship on the forehead of Sri Lalitambika. In the mukam, there is forehead. It's called lalatam. We are going to focus on the forehead of Sri Lalitambika. The nama that describes the forehead is Ashtami Chandra ViprajaTalikaSthala Shobita. Let's look at the components in this nama. While we recite it as Ashtami Chandra ViprajaTalikaSthala Shobita, the actual thing that we need to keep inside the mind is the Alika Sthalam. Alika Sthalam is the lalatam or the forehead. So even though we recite it in the way it needs to be, we have to remember that it is the Alika Sthalam, the region of forehead. The region of forehead is this part. Let's look at the components in this nama. The very first nama is Ashtami Chandra. Ashtami. Ashta means 8. Ashtami is the 8th phase of the moon or the 8th kala of the moon. We are actually very, very familiar with this term Ashtami. Where have we recited Ashtami? For example, we say Durga Ashtami. That is Durgashtami. There we say Ashtami. Janmashtami, for Lord Krishna's birth, we say Janmashtami. He was born on the Ashtami. He got Jananam in Ashtami. So the term Ashtami is very, very familiar. Ashtami Chandra. That's the starting of this nama. Vipraja. Vipraja means that is shining. The Ashtami Chandra is very shining, it seems. In some places, instead of Vipraja, this term is also mentioned as Bibraja. Both Vipraja and Vipraja are correct. Both the pronunciations are correct. They are just the Pata Vedas. That's the method of reciting based on the Guru Parampara. So whatever Guru Parampara tells us, we have to just follow that. In our Guru Parampara, we say Vipraja. Alikam. Alikam means forehead, this region. Sthalam means it's not just in one part, it's the entire region of forehead. So sthalam means sthala, like Kshetram. When we say Kshetram, a temple, temple is a sthalam, right? Like we go to the temple, in the region of temple, in the place of a temple. Like that, Alika sthalam means the region of forehead. Shobita means looking very beautiful. She who looks very beautiful with the region of forehead that shines like Ashtami Chandra. The Ambal's forehead in the Vagbhava Kutam is shining so beautifully like the Ashtami Chandra. There is no other object that could be used to compare the forehead of Sri Lalitambika. So the closest Uvamanam that Vasinyadi Vak Devatas could find is the Ashtami Chandra. They say, oh, we could not find anything. We are going to say that it is so beautiful and shining and resembles Ashtami Chandra. So when a form comes out of the Chidagni Kundam, the head is first seen. In the head, the Devatas, all the Devatas there from the Chidagni Kundam, they darshan Ambal's hair with flowers. That was one of the previous namas that we reviewed. What was the nama? Champaka Ashoka Punnaka Saukantika Lasatkacha. So first they saw the divine hair beautifully adorned with flowers. Then what did we darshan? The divine crown, Kotiram, studded with the entire Surya Mandalam with 12 Adityas, the Dvadasa Adityas. We reviewed this Nama also previously. What is that Nama? Kuruvinda Manishreni Kanat Kotira Mandita. So the head, at the top of the head, like we saw very beautiful hair adorned with flowers. Then this Kotiram, the very beautiful crown, studded with the entire Surya Mandalam. Now, what is logical next? Then they have to darshan the forehead, right? Which is that where is the kotiram or the crown situated? It is situated on top of the head. So the first thing that they see is the forehead, and hence this nama Alika Sthalams, right? So forehead. All the devatas here they darshan the forehead of Sri Lalitambika. Vasinyadi Vak Devatas now describe that forehead and say that it is like Ashtami Chandra. Instead of just saying Chandra ViprajaTalikaSthala, Vasinyadi Vak Devatas specially prefix the Chandra with Ashtami Chandra. So, what is the importance of Ashtami Chandra? So, let's look at that first. Ashtami Chandra. If we see the face of the moon from Amavasya, there is no moon, hence it is dark. All the way it keeps growing, 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 all the way up to Purnima. This growing up phase of the moon from Amavasya to Purnima, the full moon day, is called Sukla Paksha. From Amavasya, it grows and grows and grows and becomes Purnima, Paurnami. It becomes, that phase is called Sukla Paksha. The eighth day, if you see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The eighth day is the Ashtami. The Chandra that is on the eighth day is the Ashtami Chandra. The speciality, if you see, is that the Chandra is exactly in half on Ashtami. And hence, the Vasinyadi Vak Devatas are using this term Ashtami Chandra instead of just Chandra. Then what happens after Purnima? From Purnima, the moon becomes smaller and smaller and smaller and becomes Amavasya where there is no moon, right? So, it grows smaller and smaller. So, from Purnima to Amavasya, that phase is called Krishna Paksha. And if you see the eighth day, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, the eighth day is Ashtami. Here also, in the Krishna Paksha, also the Ashtami Chandra is exactly in half and does not change. So, whether it is Purnima from in the Sukla Paksha, whether it is from Amavasya to Purnima, the Ashtami Chandra, the eighth day Chandra, is exactly in half. Whether it is the Krishna Paksha from Purnima to Amavasya, there also in those 15 days also the center that comes, the Ashtami Chandra is exactly in half. That's why Vasinyadi Devatas look at this specific aspect of being very constant, exactly in half, as their worshipping method and says Ashtami Chandra. Sri Lalitambika's forehead now is in the shape of Ashtami Chandra in the Sukla Paksha. When the moon is growing, 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 the Ashtami that comes on the eighth day, that is how. See, if you see this moon, if you take this moon here and you see the top portion of the moon, that is how Lalitambika's forehead is. That is the Alika Sthalam that is in the shape of Ashtami Chandra. Now, if you see closer here in the Shukla Paksha, where it starts from Amavasya and goes all the way to Purnima. Pratama, Dvitiya, Tritiya, Chaturthi, Panchami, Sashti, Saptami, and then Ashtami. Ashtami Chandra ViprajaTalikaSthala Shobita. Ashtami. The Ashtami, if you see, is constant at half, right? Exactly in half. Let's look at Krishna Paksha, which starts from the Purnima to Amavasya, right? Let's look at that. Pratama, Dvitiya, Tritiya, Chaturthi, Panchami, Shashti, Saptami, Ashtami. Here also Ashtami is exactly half. So if Ashtami is in the center, there are 5 plus 2, 7 on this side, 7 faces of moon on this side, and 7 faces of moon on this side. So total of 7 plus 7, 14, and the Ashtami Chandra is the center one as the as the eighth one. So totally it is 15. Of the 15, 7 on this side and 7 on this side, right? So in each fortnight, there are 7 phases on either side, but Ashtami remains the same, exactly the half. The concept of Ashtami Chandra being the same in both Shukla Paksham as well as Krishna Paksham represents the state of always being in the center. That's the state of being samam. This is the biggest concept that is conveyed in this nama. The state of being samam. It's constant, whether it is Sukla Paksha or whether it is Krishna Paksha. The Ashtami Chandra alone just stays the same, constant, exactly in half. That is why Ambal's forehead is equated to Ashtami Chandra Vipraja. It constant, it gives the state of being samam. Now let's connect this concept with the component Alika Sthala, which means the region of forehead. What is in the region of forehead? If we see from a yogic perspective, the Alika Sthalam represents the Agnya Chakra right here. Is in the forehead, the chakra that is there is Agnya Chakra. So that state of the Atma Sadhaka in the Agnya Chakra is where everything is samam, just like the moon is samam. Samam means constant. It's always constant. It does not change, whether it is Purnima or Amavasya. It is like whenever we see the Ashtami Chandra during those phases, it does not change. It is where it reaches. It is the state of being samam. That Chandra Kala is samam. So the state of Atma Sadhaka in the Agnya Chakra is where the pain and pleasure are treated as the same. That's the samam. So, like Ashtami Chandra, the sadhaka always treats everything equally. Samam, 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 samam. That's the key concept that we have to take from this nama, samam. State of Atma Sadhaka in Agnya Chakra, in where pain and pleasure are treated the same, samam. This concept is very beautifully explained in Mooka Panchasati, the state of being samam. In that, Acharya says, Shiva Shiva Pashyanti Samam. How is it possible for a sadhaka to be in a state like this? Shiva Shiva, is it even possible to be in this state? With great ascharyam, with great wonder, Acharya Mooka looks at goddess Kamakshi and sings this shlokam in Mooka Panchashati. It comes in Arya Shatakam. Acharya says, Shiva Shiva Pashyanti Samam, Shri Kamakshi Katakshita Purushaha, Vipinam Bhavanam, Amritam Mitram, Loshtam Cha Yuvati Bimboshtam. Shri Kamakshi Katakshitaha Purushaha. Acharya Mooka Kavi explains in wonder that a sadhaka bestowed with Shri Kamakshi's blessings. Shri Kamakshi Katakshitaha Purushaha. A Purusha means a being who has goddess Kamakshi's Kataksham. Shri Kamakshi Katakshitaha Purushaha Pashyanti Samam. Sees all objects before him as equal, the samam, just like the Ashtami Chandra is always exactly the half, exactly at the center. Sadhaka who has Kamakshi's blessings always sees everything as samam, equal. And he goes to gives examples for that. Amitram, mitram. There is no, mitra means friendship. Amitra means who's not a friend, who's an enemy. So the sadhaka who has reached that Agnya Chakra there in the Lalata Sthanam treats Mitram and Amitram to be the same, a friend and an enemy to be the same. That means he has no dvesham in his heart, he has no anger towards anybody, no krodam. That's the first concept he conveys here, Amitram, Mitram. And then Vipanam Bhavanam. Bhavanam is a nice, great place to live, like a great palace. Irrespective of it is a great palace. Or Vipanam, a small hut in a very dense, remote forest, which has no conveniences. A great palace versus a small hut, both of them will be treated as the same. Samam. That means he has no fear whether he lives in a forest, whether he lives in a great palace. whether he has all that luxurious things as gold, or whether he has just mud in the hut, gold and the mud, everything is considered to be the same for him, samam, just like the Ashtami Chandram. So no lobam. And then the third example Acharya very beautifully describes here is Loshtam cha Yuvati Bimboshtam. Yuvati is a very beautiful a woman, if you will. Bimboshtam is her beautiful lips, red colored lips. The lips are considered to be something enticing. Yuvati Bimboshtam means somebody who has red colored lips. That means she's very attractive. So, for a sadhaka who has reached the state where everything is samam, the red color lips of the yuvati will be treated to be exactly same as the loshtam. That means if you see the red color roof tiles, right? How will it be? They are shingles, roof shingles. They are at the top of the roof. If you see, in places like Trivandrum, the house has roof which has red color shingles. So whether it is Yuvati's red lips or if it is the red colored tiles made on the, you know, on the roof, both of them are considered to be samam. That means the sadhaka is not attracted by worldly pleasure, even if it is enticing to see a woman with red lips. His mind stays so calm to equate it to a mere roof shingles as red. So the intent is that there is no kamam invoked in that. Sadhaka only sees Sri Kamakshi in all the objects, whether it is Mitra or Amitra, there is no Amitra. Whether it is a great palace or hut, it's the same. Whether it is gold or mud, it's the same. Whether it is the red colored lips of a Yuvati or the it does not arise any kamam in him. He just thinks that, oh, this is like the red color shingle of a roof. That's how he treats all the objects. Everything is samam, just like the Ashtami Chandra remains samam, constant in the center always. The sadhaka only sees Sri Kamakshi in everything and no difference between gold or mud. Everything is Brahmamayam. Everything is Brahmam, Ambal, Kamakshi. Every object is seen as Ambal Swarupam. So no Kamam comes from inside. Everything remains constant like this Ashtami Chandra. Sadhaka only sees Sri Kamakshi in all the objects. One can reach that Agnya Chakra in that Lalata Sthanam, Alika Sthalam, right? Only if there is no Lobam, only if there is no Krodham, and only if there is no Kamam. That is the Lalata Sthanam. So at that stage, the sadhaka is beyond papas and punyas, right? No papam comes because there is no anger in him. There is no lopam in him. There is no kamam in him. There is no wrongdoing of any sort. So he does not have any papam, and any punya that comes, he thinks that this is all Kamakshi. So all the punyam are done arpanam to Devi Kamakshi. So everything is only Kamakshi. There is only Brahmamayam. There is only Kamakshi. That is the state of this Alika Sthalam, the forehead that resembles the Ashtami Chandram, the Samam aspect, where he sees everything to be only Kamakshi and nothing else. Acharya thus explains the eligibility to reach that state of Agnya Chakram in the Alika Sthalam. Hence, in great wonder, he says, Shiva Shiva Pashyanti Samam. How can, Pashyanti means to see everything as Samam. How is this possible? Shiva Shiva, says Acharya in this very beautiful Mooka Panchasati Shlokam, says everything is only Kamakshi. Shiva Shiva Pashyanti Samam. Now, in Sri Vidya tradition, the each phase of the moon, there is a deity named Nityas. So the nama here starts with Ashtami Chandra, right? It's related to the moon, right? And we said it's the eighth phase of the moon. In Sri Vidya tradition, for each phase of the Chandra, of the moon, there is a deity. They are called as Nityas. Each Nitya correspond to a day. The day is otherwise called as Tithi. So each Nitya corresponds to a day during the fortnight. How many days are there in the fortnight? 15 days are there in the fortnight. So there is a goddess who's a guardian deity for each of our day. So for every single day that we live, 15 days, 15 days, 15 days in Krishna Paksha, 15 days in Shukla Paksha. Every single day, for each of those 15 days, there is a Devata. They are called as Nitya. So the since each Nitya corresponds to a day or a Tithi, they are called as Tithi Nitya Devatas. And let's first recite the names of the Tithi Nitya Devatas. We are getting introduced to the concept of Tithi Nitya Devatas. The names of the Devatas are Kameshwari, Bagamalini, Nityaglinna, Berunda, Vahnivasini, Mahavajreshwari, Shivaduti, Twarita. Kulasundari, Nitya, Neelapataka, Vijaya, Sarvamangala, Jwalamalini, and Chitra. These are the 15 Tithi Nitya Devatas, and in the center, Ambal is seated as the Mahanityas. So if you see here, there are 5 plus 5 plus 5. 5 plus 5 plus 5. 15 Tithi Nitya Devatas. They are here, and in the center, in the Bindusthanam, Ambal is the Mahanitya in the center. Together, 15 plus 1, 16. They are called as the Shodasa Chandra Kalas, the 16 Kalas of the moon, because each of these Devata, they correspond to a phase of the moon or the Chandrakala. And if you keep on seeing here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and the eighth phase of the moon, the Devata is called Twarita. So the goddess for the eighth phase of the moon, Ashtami Chandra, is Twarita. Ashtami Chandra, if you see the eighth Devata, she has 7 Devatas on this side and 7 Devatas on the other side. Among the 15, she is in the center, always constant. Ashtami Chandra Devata, Twarita, is known for that samam, she who remains constant. Hence, the Tithi Nitya Devata to recollect for this Nama Ashtami Chandra ViprajaTalikaSthala Shobita is Sri Twarita Devi. Now in now in Soundarya Lahari, Acharya describes this concept of the Ambal's Alika Sthalam in this very beautiful shloka in Soundarya Lahari. Acharya says, ललाटं लावण्यं द्युतिविमलमाभाति तव यत् द्वितीयं तन्मन्ये मकुटघटितं चन्द्रशकलं विपर्यासन्न्यासात् उभयमपि सम्भूय च मितः सुधालेपस्यूतिः परिणमतिराका Imakara. Acharya says, Lalatam. Lalatam means the forehead, a very beautiful forehead that is in the shape of Ashtami Chandra, right? Lalatam. We should, while we learn Sri Lalita Sahasranama, while we learn the references to Mooka Panchasati and Soundarya Lahari, we will also unknowingly it will go inside. The Sanskrit words will go inside. The very beautiful, instead of saying forehead, we will continue to use the word lalatam. So lalatam and forehead will become one in ourselves, right? Anytime we see lalatam, we'll automatically know that it is the lalata sthanam is the alika sthanam, which is the forehead. So slowly we will learn so many new Sanskrit terms. That's the blessings that Acharya gives us through these shlokas. So, Acharya in this Soundarya Lahari shloka says Lalatam. He starts the shlokam with Lalatam. Lalatam means Ambal's forehead, right? Ashtami Chandra, the forehead. Lalatam. How is this Lalatam? Immediately he says Lalatam Lavanyam. The forehead of Ambal is very beautiful, indescribable. It has Chandra Shakalam. It's like the Ashtami Chandra, the half moon of Shukla Paksham. It's a growing moon. That's the Shukla Paksham. So Ambal's Lalatam is like the Shukla Paksha of that face of that moon. Uttama Stris Parshvam. Parshvam also means the forehead. See how many new terms we come across and learn from our acharyas. Uttama Shri's Parshvam is curved on both sides per Samudrika Lakshanam. If you see the forehead, if you see the Ashtami Chandra, the top portion, if you see there is a curve on this side and that's a curve on this side, right? How beautifully it curved. Acharya says Ambal's Lalatam is also very beautiful like that. So if you see Ambal's Lalatam has a curve on this side and a curve on that side. That is per Samudrika Lakshanam. Uttama Stri's Lalatam, Aparshvam, Lalata, Alika Sthalam. It has a curve on both sides, and hence Acharya says Lalatam Lavanyam. And when we darshan Ambal, we know that Ambal being the Mahapativrata obviously has the Lalata Ardha Chandra curved on both sides like the moon. In fact, the moon learns from Ambal, right? It is the other way. So the Lalata Sthanam of Ambal is very beautiful. Hence, the moon also got that property from Ambal. That's how we have to understand this Nama. When we darshan Devi, we look at the shape of the Lalatam and wonder, oh, is this Chandrakala? Did Chandra learn from Ambal? Oh, very beautiful. This looks very beautiful. This looks like the Chandrakala. We don't have any other Vamanam, like a comparison to describe Ambal's Lalatam. So we are using the Suklapaksha Ashtami Chandra to describe Ambal's Lalatam. That's how beautiful it is. That's why Acharya next he says Dyuti. Lalatam Lavanyam Dyuti Vimalam. The Dyuti, the Kanti from the Lalatam shines with great Shobhanam. Hence, this Nama, if you see, Ashtami Chandra Vipraja Talikasthala Shobita. The Dyuti from the Alikasthalam, the forehead, is Vipraja, shining with great Shobhanam, Shobita. That's why Vasinyadi Vak Devatas do not just say as Chandra Viprajalika, but they specifically prefix with Ashtami and say Ashtami Chandra Vipraja Talikasthala Shobita. And in the second part of the shloka, Acharya describes there is not just like one half moon here. He says there are actually two half moons in the Vagbhava Kutam of Ambal. Vagbhava Kutam is the face, the mukam, right? In this Vagbhava Kutam, Acharya in the shlokam, he says there is not just one half moon. We just saw one half moon as the Ashtami Chandra. But Acharya says, oh, there are actually two half moons in Vagbhava Kutam. The first being the Shukla Paksha in the forehead, and the other adorned in the head as the crescent moon right here. One is here in the forehead, the other is adorned as the crescent moon. That's the Krishna Paksha that is adorned in Ambal's Kiritam, right? In the divine crown, she has one more moon. So there are not just one half moon, there are two half moons. And then Acharya says, when this Ardha Chandra is inverted here, that so there is already one half moon here on the forehead. If we take this Chandra and invert it and make this as the bottom here, then the entire face becomes Purnima. So, Paripurna Chandra Vadana. We will cover this aspect of Paripurna Chandra Vadana in the future Nama. That Nama is also going to come. So we should, the Acharya is saying that that's the meditative aspect of this Vagbhava Kutam. That is not just one part, one half moon, but it is the entire Purnima. We will cover that aspect of Purnima in the upcoming Nama. But here Acharya says, Ashtami Chandra Vipraja Talikasthala Shobita, the Ashtami Chandra. The Soundaryam from the Ashtami Chandra in the forehead does not have any comparable Kanti. That's Vipraja, it's shining so bright. So what Acharya says here is that the Chandra on this head, right? That is on Ambal's Kiritam, it bends down as the bottom part, it seems. This is shining so bright that the Chandra automatically bends down and becomes the bottom portion of Ambal's face. Hence, the two half moon becomes Ambal's full face to become the full moon. The intent behind two half moons become the Purnima is for us to meditate on this Nama. Acharya reminds us to recollect the Shruti Vakyam, Chandrama Manaso Jataha, the Adhishtana Devata for the mind is Chandra Deva. Why is Chandra being described by Vasinyadi Vak Devatas here? Because Chandra is the Adi Devata for Manas, the mind. We saw Samam, how in the Alika Sthalam, in the Agnya Chakra, when when a sadhaka reaches the Agnya Chakra, everything is samam, mind is controlled. Just like the crescent moon at the top bent down before Ambal's Lalatam, our uncontrollable mind will also come under our control if we do the Lalata Dhyanam. So, Lalata Dhyanam removes the Maya of the mind and brings our mind under our control. That is the supreme power of this Lalata Dhyanam with this Nama Ashtami Chandra ViprajaTalikaSthala Shobita. As next steps with Acharya's blessings, let's review the next Nama in Sri Lalita Sahasranama. May everyone in the whole world be happy. Loka Samasta Shukino Bhavantu. Thank you so much, everyone. Shri Matre Namaha.